Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you all here to our first event of this year's Digital Building Roadshow by WAGO. My name is Daniel Wehmeyer and I'm the Head of Market Management Building Technology at WAGO here at our headquarters in Minden. I'm happy to welcome you here today, and I would like to kick off an exciting series of panel sessions that we will be broadcasting this year as a Digital Building Roadshow. I would like to invite you to save these dates of the upcoming events and to join us again and again for all the exciting topics that will come. You can expect discussions, expert lectures, product and software presentations. As you may have seen already today, there will be also always the opportunity to get in touch with us directly to discuss the shown contents or to discuss further steps. Freely programmable controllers just configure instead of programming with room automation, energy data management, lighting management. These are all topics for which you can find a complete range of solutions at WAGO. Perhaps you already know this offer from our previous trade fairs or in practical use from your own project. We have now continued the simplicity that you know from us with a new topic of the management of buildings and distributed properties. And today we would like to give you the outlook for this next development at WAGO in the area of building automation. The management of buildings and distributed properties is a topic that continues the WAGO developments, but it's nevertheless also the next step in the direction of holistic solutions. But what are distributed properties? What challenges arise in the management of buildings and distributed properties? How can I handle all the data that my building technology system provides me? And how do I maintain an overview at all times from any location? I would like to start with a discussion with Stefan Rothermel. Stefan works at WAGO in the area of retail solutions and is the perfect person to get some insights in the world of distributed properties. We will continue with the question, how can WAGO help me with the challenges of managing buildings and distributed properties? I would like to give you a little insight into this area as well. Then we will take a look directly at WAGO solutions that we offer to meet these challenges of managing buildings and distributed properties. We will look directly into the user interface of our applications, and we will show how you can achieve your goals with simple configuration. But now I'm looking forward to an exciting discussion with Stefan Rothermel on the topic of distributed properties. Hello Stefan, I'm really happy that you are here today and that we're able to talk about the topic of management of buildings and distributed properties. So I've just said something about you, but maybe it would be better if you introduce yourself. So what are you doing at WAGO?
Yes, thank you, Daniel. I will introduce me. I'm a project manager for building technology for our retail customers. We, together with our planning departments, we develop holistic solutions for these retail customers.
Okay, so holistic solutions for our retail customers sounds very interesting for me, but what does it exactly mean in practice?
We handle the classic areas of building control, such as lighting control, shading, measurement for HVAC, and depending on the size of the property, we integrate, or we also offer integrated solutions.
Okay. So from building control to integrated solutions. So it sounds also very interesting for me. Integrated solutions. Can you explain that to us?
Yes, I can. That means that all trades are combined to one controller. And in addition, the WAGO system enables the direct integration of energy measurement. Mm-hmm. And in this way, we have a high degree of automation. and also low costs, and so it makes the system profitable.
Okay, yeah, and okay, that's interesting because I think investment is a very important point. So every time, but if you have a closer look to the planning phase and also to all the stuff you have to do to plan such a distributed property, what are other important points if you think about the planning path?
We focus on simple, independent, and reusable approaches. This is important because the solutions is rolled out in high quantities and in different companies all over the world. The WAGO company now has an entire team of specialists who were very familiar with technical requirements of these retail customers.
Okay. So if you talk about distributed properties, so you talk about your customers' branch network.
Yes, this is my standard, but there are also others. We have, for example, a campus of a university or the building of a ground of a hospital or something else.
Okay, I see. But so if you think about distributed properties, then I think you would say that this is a very important topic and that it becomes more and more important these days. Yes,
definitely. There are more and more operators of distributed properties. Just think there's a small bakery around the corner. Once it was okay to have a small shop and a bakery, and now more and more bakeries run many shops.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I think it's a very good example for distributed properties. But what do you think? What is the reason for this?
Our economic,
Okay, ich mach die Frage nochmal.
Ja, besser ist es.
That's interesting, Stefan. It's a really good example. So, but what do you think? What is the reason for that?
Yes, Daniel, our economy is just growing, and so it's always expanding. There are many bakery chain stores with several hundred shops all the time. We already know a concept, the concept from food retailing. Individual little shops have been completely replaced by big discounters or retailers.
Yeah, that's true, but it's also a bit sad.
Yes, of course. But there are also advantages. So customers encourage this development. You and I, we like to shop in familiar environments. No matter where we are, we like to know what to expect when we enter in a shop, and we can even do that on vacations because the chain stores are expanding worldwide. Yeah. And there are also much more examples. Daniel, did you know something else?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Also in vacation. So I'm really thinking about things like drugstores or clothing stores, or maybe something like pet stores or this.
Yeah, or beverage stores, DIY stores, electronic stores, furniture stores, and of course the fast food industry. And many more, but there are also chains in the service sector, such as hotel industry, fitness industry, car repair and wellness, and of course the gas station network as well.
Yeah, you're right. And if you think of this, they are all operators of distributed properties.
Yes, that's how it is, and we haven't talked about the largest operator of distributed properties yet, the municipalities.
Okay.
Think about educational buildings, administrative buildings, cultural facilities, sports facilities, fire departments, hospitals,
I think,
and so on.
Okay, so I think I've got it. I've got it now. Yeah.
Yeah. And our company WAGO is also an operator of distributed properties, and we run many locations worldwide. So we are also a part of it. I think it's obvious that this development becomes more and more important.
Yeah. Okay. Really interesting. But regarding this market, if we have a closer look at this market of distributed properties, what do you think are the specific requirements of this market regarding the design and the operation of building automation systems?
Daniel, I think the biggest challenge is to keep track of the systems and the huge amount of data. I think it's one of the most important. In the past, we tried to record each status, each measurement in very short intervals. And we collect different kinds of data from different trades and different manufacturers and in different ways. Okay,
and it sounds like you think that's really problematic, or isn't it?
Today, it's still difficult to evaluate this huge amount of data and to use it effectively. Using technology with high investment and operation costs is not very attractive.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I know it from the last years working in the building automation project business.
Yeah.
That was always a topic. So, but a question from my side is, are there any changes since I've worked in this project business in the last years?
Yes, of course. We start to try to reduce the data volume. It starts during the planning phase, for example, with the selection of the data. And there are also new technical approaches. Powerful and compact automation stations allow us to manage and to store the data locally. Mm-hmm. And in that way, only the core data is recorded for evaluation, and the system status can checked locally in detail. In case of a mail function or something else, directly on the control system.
Okay, that is really interesting if we talk about planning and the operation of these systems. But what do you see if we have a closer look at the commissioning of this building automation system? I think it's also a really interesting topic.
Yeah. For commissioning, the most important is saving time. Okay. Saving time while keeping good quality. It must be simple. Standardized where possible. It means it must be repeatable, and it must be ideally it must be self-checking. The more properties you have, the more important these features are.
This sounds very interesting to me, but if I think about all this stuff, I would think that also the feature of backup and restore of the whole configuration would be a really great feature.
Oh yes, an important point, Daniel. Automatic backup configuration in the cloud environment is expected so that assets can be quickly restored at in an event of a failure. Without such features, it is not possible to run distributed properties.
Yeah. Okay. And another thing I have in mind is if we talk about all these distributed properties, so how is it with the topic of IT security and the security of all these networks you have in all these distributed properties?
Of course, the increasing standards of security requirements is an important thing in this case. And there's hardly any difference between IT infrastructure and automation infrastructure, I think. IT infrastructure for building automation should be protected in the best possible way today. It must be possible to close up any security gaps during operation, and in other words, it must be possible to run out or to roll out updates from a central location, i.e. from a cloud.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And okay, these are all requirements for the distributed properties, but if we have a closer look at things you also do, the retail business, what do you think about, or can you explain us what specific requirements we see in the retail business?
Yeah, generally, Daniel, the leaner and the more compact the concept, the better. The control system should be universal as possible. And that means that the flexibility of the hardware and the configuration of the application is one important point. This is essential for retail. Because the retailers run their shops all over Europe or worldwide, and they work together with local companies for installation, maintenance and services. Therefore, it must be able for any technician to handle the systems without special training.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I really understand this, but I also know that making things simple is not so easy, I would say.
Yes, but this is one of the main tasks in this branch. Retail customers pay special attention on profitability, and we always we always have to consider the whole process. From the planning, the installation, the commissioning, the maintenance, the service, and as well the permanent optimization of the plants. It is very important that the system not do require any attention during operation, for example, from the shop personnel. Once I was told by a guy responsible for store constructions, Mr. Roadshow, you don't see and hear anything from a really good system. We earn our money by selling and not by managing technical problems.
Yeah, okay. I would say it's a really clear statement, and it summarizes all the topic really perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. At the same time, and the same applies to data and fault management systems. The customer accepts automatically generated reports with facts and recommendations for action. Fault reports are also automatically assigned to service partners. And the processing status is monitored. In summary, the customer is looking for an economical overall solution that can be used universally, concentrated on the essentials, and of course must be easy to handle. Sounds like a big challenge, but I think it's possible.
I think that is really interesting, and it sounds really interesting for me. And I think retail is a really interesting topic in this area because it's a kind of benchmark. But you can transfer it also to other kind of buildings like hotels, schools, or kindergarten, or this. They all need cheap and easy solutions in this area. Yes. So yeah, it's a really interesting thing for me. Thank you, Stefan, for this insight, and thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.
That was a really interesting insight for me in the world of distributed properties. We've also heard a lot about the challenges we have in the world of distributed properties and the daily projects, like especially in the retail business. The question now is, how can WAGO help? And I would really like to answer you this question today. We at WAGO are launching a new system solutions which meets exactly the requirements of distributed properties, but you can also use it for a lot of other use cases. We are expanding our portfolio of configurable applications with our new application building control, for which you don't need any kind of programming knowledge. You can use this application for HVAC or lighting or shading. You can use this application for a single heating system or for a single air conditioning system, but you can also use this application for a complete distributed property. Maybe we know it from the retail business. Our new system solution is a two-part solution. On the one side, we have the WAGO application building control, and on the other side, we also have the WAGO Cloud Building Operation and Control. The WAGO Cloud Building Operation and Control is a brand new system for visualization and for your operating tasks you have every day. So a new cloud-based visualization and operating system. You can directly connect your building control application to this new cloud solution directly only with configure your controller. You don't need any kind of gateways. But I would like to show you these technical features with our next slide with the topology of this system. Here you see our PFC controller with our building control applications. You are able to integrate a different kind of hardware I/Os, and you can also integrate in the first version MBus or Modbus into your controller application. You can visualize your controller application with your local PC or with a local installed touch panel. But you can also, you don't have to, but you can also use our building operation and control cloud solution and connect this application directly to the cloud. In the next slide, I would like to show you the WAGO application building control a bit more detailed. As I've already said, you can directly configure, and you can see it here, you can directly configure this controller application in your web visualization. So if you add some I/O modules to your controller, the application scans automatically all the I/O modules, and you can see it here in the visualization, and you only have to put names on your I/O modules. So you are also able to configure your solution here with a PID control loop or mathematical operations or with other different kinds of operations you need to control your local plant. So you have also an integrated dashboard in this new application. You have also an integrated alarm and monitoring system, and you can integrate your controller application into your local building management system, or you can communicate with another controller you have on your local site. You can also use the integrated configurable cloud application to connect this controller directly to our WAGO Cloud Building Operation and Control, which I would like to show you in the following slide. The WAGO Cloud Building Operation and Control is a part of our WAGO Cloud. You have the possibility here to connect all your building control applications and to build out a structure of all your plants you have or all your distributed properties all over the world, and you can handle your data all over the world. You have also an integrated trend and reporting functionality. You have also an integrated alarming for all the controllers you have connected to this platform, and you have also the possibility to have a direct remote access from this cloud solution to your local controller. So you can use your web-based management you have on your controller, or can use directly your web visualization to operate your heating and ventilation systems from all over the world. You have also an integrated device management directly from the cloud. So the WAGO Cloud Building Operation and Control is maybe not the complete building management system you know from the past, but we have optimized this cloud solution for your operational daily tasks. So the WAGO Cloud Building Operation and Control meets exactly your needs for your daily operation with your distributed properties or your HVAC systems you have. But this should be enough theoretical stuff from my side. So let's now have a direct look at the practical use of these applications. Therefore, we have here today the two product managers of our applications, Alexander Mackensen and Carsten Wendt. They would like to show you these two applications. We would like to start with Alexander Mackensen with the WAGO application building control, and then we'd like to hand over to Carsten Wendt to the WAGO cloud building operation and control. But first of all, we'd like to start with the WAGO application building control with Alexander Mackensen.
Hello, I would like to show you a new application solution for building automation. The WAGO building control application is a pre-programmed solution for almost all functional areas in building automation, as for example the control of heating, air conditioning, ventilation plants, also for lighting control, light control, also or for the handling of energy consumption data. The special feature of this application is that despite of the pre-programming, almost any kind of data points could be defined and could be linked together or could be provided with control or regulation functions. The commissioning is carried out via a configuration interface according to the motto configuration instead of programming. So any knowledge of programming languages is not required here. Integrated is also a dashboard for the visualization and the operating of the plant, and optionally you will be able to connect the application to the WAGO cloud building operation and control for a worldwide access to all the data. I will show you now a small configuration example. We will realize a simple temperature control loop. With this example, I could illustrate the basic principle how the application creation works. So therefore, I will switch to the application. You could see already the start screen or the login screen here. After logging in, a dashboard will appear with some elements which have already been configured in advance. So we will switch first to the configuration area. And here on the left side, you could see the different functional areas which are available to configure your desired application. For example, there are different controller types, there are logical functions, there are if-then conditions, scheduler is available, or a characteristic curve, so different functionalities are available. If you start to configure a new application, you will usually start with the IO configuration, and the application recognizes automatically which kind of modules are connected to the controller, and the list of modules are displayed here in the application. In this example, we have a digital output module, digital input module, two different temperature modules, an output module, and a serial interface. For our temperature loop, we need different data points. One is a release signal, one is a room temperature signal, a set point, and also output to control the heating valve. So we will start with a digital input with a release signal. We are looking for the first free channel, and here we could type in now a name, a data point name. And if you want also an additional description, for example, where the data point is located. And you are also able to invert the data point immediately here at this point. And if you invert the data point, you see that the output is already switched on now. Now the next data point is the temperature. We type in again the name, for the data point, again the additional description. You could select here which type of sensor is connected to the module. In this case, we use a PT1000 signal. And you could also specify the unit, in this case, grads Celsius. And very interesting is also that you could prepare the data point for a logging or a range monitoring. And when you now change the input value a little bit, you could also see in the application that the temperature, the actual value will change. Now it's 27.2 degrees. Now we need an output signal for our heating valve. Therefore, we use the digital output module, and we will look again for the next free channel, and we will assign the data point name, heating valve. Again, the additional description. We could select a range from 0 to 100%, and you could also select in which way is the output the valve controlled. In this case, we select the PWM signal. Very interesting here is that you could put the data point into a manual override, for example, to check the wiring. Therefore, you could type in here, for example, 100%, and you will see that the output is switched on, and you will get a message also in the upper status bar that this data point is put in manual operation. Okay, now for our temperature loop, we need also a set point. In this example, we will create an input field on the dashboard. Therefore, I will switch to the dashboard settings. And there I will create a new control element. Within this element, I will create a new data point, set point. And now you could select in which way this data point should be appear on the dashboard. So in our case, I select symbol, which means that we get a slider on the dashboard. I have to specify also the unit, and I could select the range from 18 to, for example, 25 degrees. If I go now to the dashboard, you could immediately see the result here. We have a new element with a set point slider, and I could adjust with a mouse the set point. Now I will go back to the configuration area, because now we need the function between the different IOs which we have already configured. Therefore, I select the PID controller, assign a name to the controller, also the additional description. And now I could assign the data points to this PID controller. At this point, we see the data point catalog for the first time. That is a very important thing, because it's a central list of all data points which have been configured already in the application. So it's a kind of hub to link the different data points together. If you have configured many data points, the list is very long. Therefore, we have a search function. If I search for office here, you will get a list of the data points which we have just configured in before. So I could assign here the release signal to the PID controller, the actual value, the room temperature, the set point. And now the last step is that we connect the output of the PID controller to the heating valve. Therefore, I will go back to the I/O configuration, select the digital output, the heating valve, and I use again the data point catalog to connect the output of the POD controller to the heating valve. Okay, now our PID controller is ready engineered, and I will just show you a very useful function that is a commissioning help. And with this commissioning help, you will be able to select some data points, for example, the room temperature, the set point, and the heating valve, and you could immediately check your functionality in a graphical way. So that is, I believe, a very good and helpful function. Now I will go back to the dashboard. We set up already the set point slider, and now I will add an additional element for the display of the temperature, of the room temperature. So I create a new element, room temperature trend. So I could select again via the data point catalog the room temperature here, and I could just a moment, I could select here different ways how the value should be displayed on the dashboard. So in this case I will select line, which means that I have a trend curve. So I will switch back to the dashboard, and now you see here a new element with a room temperature trend curve. And now if I change the temperature a little bit, you could also see that it is displayed here. You are also able to change the size of the different elements here and also the position. So you are very flexible in designing your dashboard according to your personal needs. Okay, the last thing what I want to show to you is connection to the cloud, and therefore I will go back to the configuration area. I will go to the WAGO cloud creation, and here you will be able to set up a new collection of data points which should be sent to the WAGO cloud. So I will create a new collection. I will assign a name. And now you have the possibility to define the data points which should be connected from the controller to the cloud. Also, here we use the data point catalog. We select the room temperature and the set point, for example, maybe also the heating valve. And these data points will be sent now from the controller to the cloud. We have also the possibility to do it in the opposite direction. So the cloud could send data points to the controller. Therefore, we could type in here again a name for the data point, and we could activate this. And now this data point will appear also in the data point list, and you could connect this data point to some other data points within the application. So very simple. So now our example is ready engineered, ready configured. You are able to set up inputs, outputs. You could put functions in between. It is also possible that functions could be nested, which means that an output of a function could be used as an input for another function. And you could see that is very flexible, and you will be able to create very fast and efficient your application. And that in a very easy way, according to the motto, configuration instead of programming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexander, for the overview and the presentation of the detailed function of the WAGO application building control. As I've already mentioned, you can use this WAGO application building control standalone, but you don't have to. Naturally, the system shows its strengths if you use the application building control and the building operation and control cloud in combination. That's the reason why I would like to hand over to Carsten Wendt, our product manager for the cloud solution and also for the WAGO cloud building operation and control, who will show us the detailed functionalities of this new cloud solution. Let us see how the management of buildings and distributed properties can be done in the practical use.
Hello and welcome. Now I would like to present you the WAGO Cloud Building Operation and Control System. With the Building Operation and Control System, you can monitor, you can control your facilities and you can control your safety staff and you can set some values from the cloud to the local controllers. And I will show you in the next couple of minutes how to connect a PFC to the cloud and how you can monitor and record your data with the cloud. Now I will type in and log in as a facility manager to the WAGO cloud. And now I type in my password. And the first step is how to connect the PFC with the WAGO cloud. For this, please go to device management and you can see if you enter the device management, you see on the left side the structure of the existing facilities with different levels. To create a PFC or to connect, you go to configuration, go to select a facility, go to new, select device, say OK, and give a name for this local PFC. Hit create, and now the PFC is created. To connect the PFC with the cloud, you need two informations. Here on the right side, you can see device ID and activation key. Both informations are necessary. Please mark it, copy, save it on maybe on a WordPad, and go to the local PFC, go to the web-based management, go to cloud connectivity and type in both information. With the next restart of the PFC will connect directly to the WAGO cloud, and the WAGO cloud detect both IDs and the activation key and will connect the PFC to the subscription and to the facility directly. So that takes 1 minute or less. So this is the first step, how to connect a PFC to the WAGO cloud. Now I move to the properties, to the building operation and control solution. Now we can see an overview, and now we are on the top level of these facilities. And we see on the top we have a status window, and here we have a warning. In the building operation and control, we have 3 different levels. We have everything still is running, we have warning and critical alarms. So now we have one warning, so we select warning, and now we get the information about, for all facilities where we have warnings. Similar, if we have a critical alarm, we can click on critical, and then we can see all the criticals. Now we have only one warning, so this is the facility, and now we go to the ground level. On the left side, you can see the complete levels from the top to the bottom. Here we can see that the room temperature for this office, it's low, around about 16 degrees, and now I would like to get more information what happened this event. So now we can see a line for the last hour, but on the top we are able to select different time slots. Maybe this week, I select this week, so I get an overview from the complete week. So, and we see that in the last couple of 2 days we have a problem with this value. Okay, we have a problem. I can't change anything, so I'm able to check on this building operation control who's responsible for the heating system. And you can see this person this service contact is responsible for the heating system. So with the building operation control, you have three different options to contact or to inform this service staff. One option is with an alarm, with the creation of an alarm. This person can get an email or an information by SMS. This is one option, so that will be generated automatically. Or maybe you send an email directly to this person or you call him. So these are the options to inform the service staff that something has happened in your facility. Now I will change my role from a facility manager to this service staff. And now I will log out and I will type in as a service staff. And now you can see on the top, the screen is a little bit different. That means the service staff had no rights to see or to control everything. So in the building operation and control, we have administration rights. We can give a person rights or delete these rights. So this person has only rights to start a remote access, to see alarms, or to control properties. So he is not able to invite people or see create a PFC. So he has not the rights. Second point is on the left side, you can see the structure is a little bit different. So we are also able to give rights on structure, on facilities. So we are able to give a service staff to one facility, to a group of facilities or area or location. So here we are also able to create rights and to give rights. So the same procedure, now we go to this warning because we want to see what has happened. And now we can see the same process, but here we will start a remote access from the cloud to the local controller. For this, go to remote access, hit connect, type in admin, WAGO, sign in. And now we can see for the office, this value is set on 15 degrees. So we set it on 20, 25 or 23. So now this value is set and this service request can be closed. This takes 1 minute. So now we make a disconnect, the remote access, go to overview, open the list of alarms, activate the alarms and say acknowledge. And you can see this alarm is acknowledged and my service request as a service staff, it's closed, completely closed. So I can disconnect, make it log out, and now I will change my role back to a facility manager. And now you can see what happened. Now I'm back as a facility manager and see on the top I have more rights. And now I go back to the facilities. Another way to the facilities is you can type in on the left side here the name and you can search for the facility by name, or if you use IDs you can type in and then you can select this facility directly in this folder, in this structure. Now we are back. Okay, go back and we see that's acknowledged and maybe I can close all alarmings and say everything is fine, everything is okay. Then I go back and now the alarms are moved to the history and everything is done, everything is fine. So Now I would like to show you some next, the reportings. One option for building operation control, it's that you can create, that we can create reports for a facility or for a group or for a region, whatever. Now we are on the facility level, and now I would like to show you a status report. Here on the status report, we show status, general information and energy consumption, heating system, and we can compare the energy consumption of the existing month or maybe a quarter or year to date. And we can show how many the costs increase or whatever. Everything it's possible. We can set alarmings, how many alarms happen in this period of time. Is this a heating system, air condition, whatever. So, and the point is here, this is not a PDF document which is uploaded from somebody. No, this is a real-time access to the database. So now I change the months, maybe from January to February. You will see that the figures are changed. So this is not a PDF, it's a real access to the database. This is the data from your local facility. Now, maybe we can create this on different levels, I explained, and now I will go to the top level. And here we have also the option for reporting. And now I will show you maybe the heating system. And now I will open the report for the heating system. Now you can see the look is a little bit different. So we are able to create individual reports and different look and feels. Here we have an overview about all the facilities which are in this subscription. Here we have a schooling, a kindergarten, and fire station. Everything it's possible with this reportings. We can create it for heating system, for every data, and for every information are possible to create this reporting. So I hope I can give you a rough overview about the building operation and control. That's everything. Thanks.
Thank you, Carsten, for the presentation of the WAGO Cloud Building Operation and Control. Today we discussed the requirements of distributed properties. We have seen which new system solution WAGO is launching this year. And we had a closer look at the controller application as well as to our new operating and visualization system in the cloud. I hope that we were able to give you a little insight into the world of distributed properties and that we have shown how WAGO can help you in your daily business. Of course, I would like to invite you also to the further sessions of our Digital Building Roadshow, in which we address a lot of challenges in the building automation and building installation business. We would also be happy if you would like to get in touch with us on our platform here. We look forward to feedback and discussions with you. We would also be happy to answer all your questions you have. Finally, I would like to thank you for your participation, and I wish you a good day, and I'm really looking forward to our next appointment as a part of the Digital Building Roadshow.